Hello viewers and welcome to Spartan Showcase. I'm your host Andy Quiros, and today I'm fortunate enough to welcome Mr. Rubin, the principal here at Uxbridge High School, to the show.
Hey Andy.
So as you know, we've been in school here for a few weeks, entering the 2016-2017 school year. How do you think it's gone so far?
Pretty positive. You know, I think people came back with a sense of excitement. I think anytime, Andy, you have new people in the building. You have seniors who are excited to be seniors. You have underclassmen who are still kind of figuring their way around. But I think overall it's been pretty positive.
And let's talk about a few changes we've had this year. We implemented a new schedule featuring 7 classes on a 6-block rotating schedule. Can you explain that to the viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the challenges for students is always getting everything they want and making sure that we had adequate seat time in some of our classes. So by going a full year across all the core disciplines, it allowed everybody to have sort of this equal access to all of the programs. There's no more half-year history classes. There's no more half-year foreign language classes. So it on the one hand, that was one of the biggest real reasons for making a change like that. But you didn't want to do that at the expense of the elective program. You wouldn't be in a TV video class without the elective program. So we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity for kids to take everything they wanted, and 7 seemed to be that sweet spot. The fact that 1 drops every day, let's face it, I mean, there are some challenges to that. If you have class on Thursday and your class drops on Friday, you go from Thursday to Monday without being in a specific class. Some people would say, man, that's great. I get a day away from whatever class you don't like. And I know some teachers are still struggling with ways to make that gap a little bit shorter. But overall, I think it's gone pretty well. I've been pretty happy with the way people have adjusted to the rotation. And truthfully, it happened a lot more quickly than I think any of us could have expected.
That's great. And we also established a new flex period, which is a 20-minute attachment after the second block. Can you describe that?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges that some disciplines had with the 60-minute periods was having enough time to do a lab or having enough time to do some sort of extended learning opportunity. And the flex block allows that. It'll turns a 55-minute period into a 75-minute period. And everybody gets through it at least once. And if teachers aren't using it, it gives students an opportunity during the day to connect with other teachers, connect with other students, get extra help, make up a test. Things that we were finding was getting really compromised after school. I mean, kids are busy. They've got to get on a bus to go to Quabog for a soccer game. Making up a quiz is tough, and sometimes getting extra help. Teachers have to get home, get their own kids off the bus. So for that to happen, kids were coming in 6:15 in the morning. Now there's a 25-minute built-in block that can happen.
And you think it's working well to this point?
Yeah, to this point. I mean, it's not perfect. I think the early reviews are very positive, and it's one of those things we're going to keep looking at throughout the year just to make sure it stays on point and stays structured.
Not only do we have a new schedule, we also have 11 new members of the staff. How do you think they've done so far?
So far, so good. I think one of the things that you like to see is when people who've been around for a while take newer staff under their wing and. Or in this case, wings. And there's that saying of how it takes a village in terms of raising kids up. Well, it's hard to bring new staff in. Culturally, one of the things we were really focused on through our interviewing was allowing new people to come here and bring with them an infusion of new ideas while respecting those that had been here for a long time. And we're seeing that happen. And I talked to a couple of the more senior people who love, as they put it, working with some of the kids. And I think it's nice to see some people bring a new way of looking at teaching, especially where Uxbridge had a staff that had been together for so long. That hadn't really undergone this level of change. Last year, I think we only had 2 or 3 new people. And this year for us to have 11 and soon to have 12 is kind of, it was something we were kind of worried about, but overall it's gone okay.
And flashing back to the first day of school, we had a bit of a different feel to that day than we've had in the past. Can you explain what was it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can hear me talk anytime.
Yeah.
And I think there are people out there that know there isn't a microphone I've met that I didn't necessarily like. Sometimes you need to have somebody else share their message. And one of the things that we really wanted students and staff to focus on here at Uxbridge High School was being positive on a day-to-day basis. The school year is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You come out of the gates pretty fast, and it slows down awfully quick. And as you know, there are some months that can be a grind. Typically, November can be a little bit of a grind. March can be a little bit of a grind. January after break and into mid-year exams is not necessarily easy. So I think having somebody who's been through I think great adversity and demonstrated what I see as one of our core values of perseverance and resilience in Mike Mookie Wilson, who happens to be an Uxbridge guy, tell us about how he overcame tragedy in his own life and didn't let challenges be seen as something that were going to stop him. It's a great message for all of us to hear on the first day.
Do you think the students like the speaker coming in on the first day of school?
We talked about it at school council. I mean, we had a couple students that indicated how much they liked it. And I've talked to maybe 20 or 30 students and said, hey, what did you think? Probably in the immediate aftermath. I think the eyes told the story. I mean, if you were sitting in the gym, or in my case, standing in the gym from where my vantage point was, you looked around and you saw 500 sets of eyes, all really in rapt attention. So I don't necessarily if the word liked is appropriate, but the word respected and focused on the message certainly would be.
Could you see yourself bringing in another speaker?
Yeah, I think so. I think the message would have to be appropriate. I think, there's a certain level of risk you put in. I like to think that, first of all, if we bring somebody in, they have a message that's worthy of sharing. And certainly Mookie had that. And that it aligns with what we're trying to do as a school. And certainly for the first day of school, it was entirely appropriate. I've seen some other speakers that are great at the end of the year. I don't know if I'd bring them in on the first day of school. And then sometimes, you can look within. I mean, we have some people in this building that, the stories themselves sometimes, I think sometimes the stories tell themselves. And that's something that fortunately we catch on film and we catch throughout the year. And, we'll see what the future brings, certainly if somebody's willing to get up there or we're able to find somebody who can capture the essence of what we're looking for that either first day or another time.
And finally, the high school recently hosted a large college fair in which more than 70 universities visited. Can you explain how that went and how the students responded?
Yeah, I think the students responded pretty well. I think we gave them plenty of time. I think if there were one thing I would look at, it's almost focusing that time a little bit more. I think it was almost a little too long, but that's okay. I mean, with 70 schools, people are going to get a sense of a wide variety of post-high school options. I was really pleased that our guidance counselors took the time to send out a list of possible questions to students to say, hey, here are some things that you can talk about when you meet with the representatives. And actually at our school council meeting, there was some thought of maybe delaying when the students go in so parents can have an opportunity. And I think that's something we're going to explore in the future. I think it was productive. I think it led to some good conversations. And the key to an effective college fair isn't necessarily FaceTime at the table. It's the FaceTime after. It's people having conversations about, oh, I didn't know about this school, but they have what I'm looking for, and I have the skills that would be successful there. My transcript aligns with what they're looking for. My GPA lines up. It has the program I might be interested in studying. My parents are okay with how much it costs. I mean, questions like that could have been answered. Anytime you have those, some of them, not all of them, when a student walks out of the gym, it's a successful event.
That's great. Is there anything else you'd like to say or share before we
No, is
wrap
this
up?
like where I get my hi mom moment? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, Andy, I really want to thank you and the folks in the studio here, Mr. Giles and the Uxbridge Cable crew. I mean, you guys do a lot behind the scenes to help us showcase all the different things that are happening both here in our athletic program and our extracurricular program. So keep up the good work. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.